Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It is Friday, so you know what that means. It's time for another episode of No Label Live. Now, my voice, I think if I wait until 7 p.m., there will be No Label Live because I won't be able to talk. So if you're joining for the first time, this show is all about the understanding of labels and how they impact our life. Because I know three things. I know that your life has been defined by labels. Your life is currently being defined by labels, and the future is ahead of us. And the great thing about labels is when we're aware of that, we can choose the labels that define us and create the story we want to tell ourselves, and we can become the hero of that story. So this week, we're doing things a little differently. I usually have an interview come on, and we are doing a Q&A of questions that were sent in by fans of the show. And I love the questions that I got. I'm going to run through. I think we're going to hit every one that was asked. And interestingly enough, Brian, I know when you watch this, I loved when you were talking about your coffee because I was typing out my response to your question when you said that on your video. So let's go ahead and let's dive in to the questions that you guys have for me. So let me unlock. Was laid up in the bed trying to get over what the heck this is that's going on with me right now. So I slept for most of the day and did nothing. Um, and back to your question about the coffee, my man, I really don't drink coffee. I drink something much worse. And yeah, I know it's bad for you, but right here, uh, poison in a can. That's what it's about for me. So no cream, no sugar. If I do have coffee, it's usually got cream and sugar in it, and it's probably one of them, like I would say, a sugar bomb from Starbucks, like a caramel, whatever. I don't even know. I don't drink enough to know the names of the coffees, but Red Bull, and that will go into another one of your questions, right? Talk about being addicted to food. That's one thing that I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that I have an addiction to, for sure. So to dive into that question, I have kicked drinking Red Bull before, and I kicked drinking alcohol. Just I was like, let's see what can happen if I can quit drinking for a year and see what happens. And I'm pretty good about doing that. So I'd medical professional of any kind. This is all just based on my own experience. But with drinking, I cut it just completely out. Like I cold turkey. I was like, okay, this is the decision I'm making. This is the goal that I have to do it uh, for a year, don't drink, right? And so there's something about that works for me. It doesn't work for everyone. As a coach, I know that doing it cold turkey does not work for everyone, and it's probably not the best approach. Even when I quit drinking the Red Bull for the period of time that I did, which was probably a year to 6 months, something like that, I just cut out soda, cut out Red Bull, and um, it was cold turkey. It was just, I made the decision that I was committed to doing that. Now, if I was to cut back from this right now and play, I'm going to step away from that. What I would recommend is doing it in stages. So planning out, not going cold turkey, and planning out how to cut back in stages so that you limit the symptoms you're going to feel when you take that away, right? But in abundance of food, so it's very easy to get caught up in the addiction of having food everywhere at our disposal. So um, the best thing for health is to abstain and start to eliminate certain things from our diets. What that is for you, I'm not sure. Uh, but if I was to say tomorrow I'm stopping Red Bull, I would say, all right, so that's my ultimate goal, but I'm going to uh, cut back to the 12-ounce can, or I'm going to cut back to the 16-ounce can. And it just depends on whatever you're working with. Do it in small stages because I can also tell you from doing it cold turkey that holy crap, withdrawal symptoms are real, even for something like Red Bull, for something like, I'm sure, soda. Uh, those symptoms are real, and they are pain in the butt when you're staring at that as your goal. But as we know, trying to achieve any type of goal, there's going to be pain associated along the way. So it goes back for me, are you committed or are you interested type of deal? And just do it in stages would be my experience there. All right, let me go open this back up and take a look at. I don't want to go to the live. There we go. All right. Oh man, how will I celebrate the return of daylight savings time? I love daylight saving time, and you know why? Because I hate driving in the dark, bro. So, and every day we're getting more and more time back. So what does that mean for me? So I live in Charleston, South Carolina. It's about to start getting hot back here, and I know some of you might be jealous going through all that winter weather. It's just a fact. If you were here and you were living in the 90 to 100 degrees every day, you'd be saying the same thing about wanting to see some cold weather. But I love it because it means there's more time to spend outside. There's more time to go out on on the water, if I'm able to get out on the water. And so I love the opportunity to be able to be outside for longer periods of time, um, and enjoy the weather here in Charleston, South Carolina, for sure. All right. I think that was all of your questions. And then, Lisa, I believe you had a question or a couple of questions. Let's see. Well, yeah. So let's start with the one that I answered through text on the thread. Well, he made it to the center. Um, in in one huge bite and 3 licks. So that's what I'm going with there. As far as goal setting, so I have a process that I like to go through when I'm thinking about goals, and anytime that I've supported anyone in setting goals, um, I really like the approach of the one thing method. But here's what I do. I treat it kind of like a pyramid. At my old job, we called it the tree of goals. And it looks like this. The foundation of any goal is, why do you want to achieve that goal? Right? The why, because the why is going to drive you when you don't actually feel like doing anything. The why is going to pick you up out of bed. It's going to make you do things like this, as silly as this is, for the Facebook Live, to know that I had my word. I said I would do a live Q&A today. It's just not at 7 o'clock. But I know for me, the why is it gives me an opportunity to connect with you guys and to share a little bit about me as a person, in this aspect. So the foundational layer is so important, and the why goes there. Then we build up, right? And we get into the root system. And then the root system is, okay, I know what I want to create. I know what goal I'm chasing. Who do I already know? And know is a relative term. Like, you don't have to personally know them. But who do I know who's achieving what I want to achieve right now? And how can I start to make a connection to that person? Because then you've got the why, and then you start to make connections and build a team so that you can reach out to them for support. You can, let's say, for example, you're somebody who's interested in learning more about sales, right? So if I was interested in that, I would talk to my boy. I would follow Uncle G, Grant Cardone, right? And I don't know him personally on any level, but I have an opportunity to consume his content online or through through his courses. So he would be somebody that I would put on that level of who's somebody doing something that that I want to do. And I've got I think for that I had at like five people. So look for 5 people that are doing what you are trying to do and what you're chasing, and then put them. So you got the why here, you got the people doing what you want to do, and then above that, right, is now you've got those people. So now start taking action. Taking actions is the steps to getting to the top of that banner of the goal you want to achieve. So what are 3 action steps that you can take? And it would be either today, it would be for the month, however you're deeming All right, so then once we take the action, right, and we've got those actions set up, hey Jody, um, then we want to have for the thing that we created a long time ago, it was like a banner, and that banner is displaying your your goal, the goal you are achieving, and on both ends of the banner, right, you have the day that you write this down, the day that you're setting this goal, and on the other end of the banner, you have the date you want to achieve this goal by. And so, why is it on a banner? It's on a banner because it's going to be a huge celebration when you achieve that goal. So, you have to have solid time frames to be able to accomplish that goal. So, to get to that's how I set up my goals. But to get to your question, Lisa, the way that I would say my goal setting process works for me personally is I look at it within a year time frame. But I want to say this, just because that's what I look at now. What I want to achieve is setting daily intentional goals. And I talk about this a little bit in my book about the Pareto principle. And I've got an exercise, another exercise that I call the gas tank. And it's really about, okay, what on a daily basis that's not having as many actions, but having uh, a smaller amount of actions that are super purposeful. Because the more purposeful the actions are, the the more you're going to get out of it, and you're not just doing a checklist of items to get something done. Like you're actually focused on how's this going to move my needle towards whatever your goal is. So I would say right now, for me, it's on a yearly basis. I've looked at it that way, but I've also been through a process where we broke down. I broke down my goal for every day, and that's what I would shoot for is daily goals. Um, and so the process that I talked about earlier is all the same, whether it's yearly, monthly, or daily goals. You then set up that process because maybe you break down the process into the steps for achieving the goal and have that be how you fill that out. um, and I really love the questions. And if you guys have anything else that you want to hear from me, let me know. And I love doing these for you. If you have specific topics where you would love to hear guest opinion on a specific topic, we'll be back at it next week at our normal time. Hopefully, I've kicked all this. And if you're interested in any of the information, like what I've talked about in the goals, let me know. Feel free to send you any of the information that I have. And if you want to know more about what I'm up to, go check out the website, and I'll drop that link in the comments below. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And remember, you must be patient, you must be diligent, and you must never quit. No label should ever define you. Your label should always empower you. So go out and have a great rest of your weekend.